Compared to other zoos, 8-year-old Nashville Zoo is quite a spring chicken, but it's already won kudos for its authentic recreations of natural habitats. The zoo recently moved to a new 200-acre site with a grand plan for the entranceway. A brand new exhibit called Gibbon Islands. Given just 2 years to complete the project, zoo president Rick Schwartz was now racing against the clock and pushing the envelope of zoo design to complete the exhibit before the scheduled opening. With Gibbon Islands, Rick hoped to create the very best gibbon exhibit in the Western Hemisphere. An island where gibbons could reign free in an authentic jungle canopy habitat. But Tennessee is far from the sweltering tropics of Southeast Asia. So Rick embedded a framework of tunnels and buildings under the island floor to provide the gibbons all the protection they desired.
We had some complications here just because of our climatic conditions, so we had to make enormous modifications primarily through housing. So it was difficult for us to bring that back and sort of recreate that, and we did that by burying these buildings underneath the island. So the animals in inclement weather can certainly get away from that.
With just a few weeks remaining before opening, the team applied some finishing touches to the island, adding ropes to the trees to help the gibbons do their trademark swinging, known as brachiation.
We've done several things to enhance the exhibit, such as putting up grapevine or ropes to help them brachiate. Just the natural wear and tear of all the trees, because they're a little hard on these same trees. They don't have the same benefit they would in the wild where they can hit the tree and move on. So the wear kind of takes its toll. So we set up these grapevine kind of highways all along they can really utilize for brachiation and traveling.
As in the wild, the gibbons can also forage for food in the trees. But since the trees don't produce enough for everyone, Shannon also supplemented their native diet of fruits and insects with nutritionally balanced biscuits and, yes, mashed potatoes. Next, Shannon heads upstairs to carefully spread the food around the exhibit to mimic the ape's natural environment.
I'm putting out their morning food, so I generally like to hide it as best I can anywhere off the ground. In the wild, they spend a lot of their time foraging for different fruits and vegetables, going from tree to tree to find the different produce and things available to them. So in the wild, if they happen to come upon a tree that is seeking sap, we try to simulate it here as part of their enrichment regimen, again, to try to promote that species-specific behavior so they don't lose their instincts, but they keep them intact.
Everything in the exhibit was perfect, or so it seemed. For Rick, there was one element of the island that was still up for review. That is, whether the moat was wide enough to keep the primates from exploring the rest of the zoo.
Well, the real key was the distance of the moat. I wanted to minimize the width of the moat to get the visitors as close to the island as possible. So the distance was pretty critical. It's about 12 foot. It's as close, I think, as you can possibly get. So overall, I think this exhibit just works very comfortably.
With no time to spare, the exhibit opened, and the fundraiser went off without a hitch. As for the moat, the gibbons in Siamang appeared perfectly content to stay in their own island forest. To the whoops and cheers of primate and visitor alike, Gibbon Islands was in full swing.
So we didn't quite know how they'd react. We let them out of the exhibit, and they just did perfect. Picture perfect. So we were very pleased that they stayed on the island and did a good job for us.
Since opening, that chorus of appreciation has shown no signs of fading. One of gibbons' most characteristic behaviors in the wild is their song, one which literally lures visitors from across the zoo.
The zoo encompasses 200 acres, and you can hear the gibbons on every aspect of the zoo, and then some, so our neighbors tell us. So you can literally hear them almost 2 miles away from this site that we're at right now.
The singing has become a staple here at the zoo, and it literally stops traffic. When the Siamang starts to sing and the gibbons start to call back from the Siamang singing their song, the whole zoo just kind of stops, and you can see everybody filtering up and really enjoying their song.
Rick Schwartz had achieved his dream. He created an unprecedented new exhibit for an endangered species by transplanting a piece of Southeast Asia right into central Tennessee.
I think these are ultimate given exhibits because you have a totally unobstructed view of the islands and, of course, the animals. You also, I think, are as close to the givens as you've ever be within a North American zoo. And I think what really makes it nice is it's just so natural. And we've gone through extraordinary lengths to hide and camouflage any infrastructure, but seeing them in their natural